So we just bought a Civic, but not just any Honda Civic, an FL5 Civic Type R. That means we've got Honda's latest K20 C1 engine, a 2-liter turbocharged power plant making 315 horsepower. We've got a set of Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, Brembo 4-piston brake calipers, and the signature triple exit exhaust system. But we have a big problem. Sema is only a couple weeks away, so to make sure the car gets there on time, we only have 5 days to install all of these mods. There's no time to waste, so we came over to RT Tuning, our local speed shop, to get this build going. What's up, Pat?
What's up?
How are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Good.
Good.
So what do you think? Our next Sema build.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get into it, yeah.
What do you think of the FL5 as a platform?
I really like the look of the car. I think it's a little more subdued than the FKs and, you know, a little bit more back to the original Type R feel.
Well, let's start digging into it and see what we got.
Awesome, let's do it. I'm interested to see how this master cylinder works out with the adjustment. Instead of adjusting it on the clevis, you do it on the firewall. You're going to get you know, higher pressure at each point. You're going to get more of a grab. It won't be as smooth of an engagement. It'll be a quicker, like, on off. So it'll be somewhere in between a full race car feel and a full street car feel.
All right, Pat, so it seems like we're at a good stopping point for the first day.
We basically did disassembly and prepping for what we're gonna do tomorrow, which is remove the transmission and do the clutch. We got fluids drained. We took the radiator out because we're doing a radiator down the road. We got the axles out, struts disconnected. So a lot of steps we made for other projects in this job itself.
Tomorrow is actually the first day we'll be able to start putting some stuff on, which is really exciting. So yeah, let's call it here for the day, and then we'll pick it back up tomorrow morning.
Sounds great.
Cool. All right, so it's day 2, Pat. What are we looking to accomplish today?
So today we want to get the transmission out, clutch installed, and transmission back in, hopefully. There's a bunch of aspects of this transmission that make it a little more difficult than your regular. They have a transmission cooler, which is attached to the cooling system. The transmission size itself, in comparison to the engine bay, there's some issues with clearances.
We should be able to tackle everything in the engine bay, the suspension, wheels and tires, and really be on our way in our 5-day deadline.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
So what are we working on next?
So next we're going to finish up the clutch job by doing a upgraded master cylinder from
cool.
Clutch Masters.
Awesome.
It's adjustable at apparently 2 places. One right here where your standard clutch adjustment would be, but then also at the firewall there's a lock ring, and you can actually adjust the whole master cylinder in and out. But then we're gonna move on to putting the radiator back in, and then hopefully get to the suspension, at least get the suspension started today.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Making good progress.
Making good progress, yeah.
All right, Pat, it's the end of day 2. What did we get done today?
All right, so today we got the transmission out, clutch swapped, and transmission back in. We got the radiator installed, we got the clutch master installed, and we started on the suspension for the vehicle.
So at this point, we're just gonna wait until the springs come in.
Yep.
Tackle a couple of other things, but either way, we're in good shape.
Yeah, great shape, yeah.
Pat, what are we doing today?
So today we're gonna move away from the suspension a little bit. After we finish the control arms, we're gonna move on to the intercooler and possibly the exhaust.
Oh, cool.
And maybe if we have time, we'll get into the blow-off valve.
Cool. Can we take a look at the control arms that are going in today?
Sure. These are the control arms that we took out on Friday. And over here are the new control arms from Eibach.
Oh, so they've already got the bushings pressed in.
They already have the bushings pressed in, and they are adjustable. So we'll match up the lengths to be OEM just to get us a baseline for the alignment.
Awesome.
And then when we get to the alignment rack, we'll see how it is.
Sweet. Yeah, let's get started.
Sounds good. All right, so we wrapped up our Eibach rear suspension install, aside from the lowering springs, which will be here later today. We got our upper control arms installed and our rear sway bar installed. Sway bar set to the softer of the two settings to see how it feels after we get it out on the road.
All right, so while Pat's removing the front bumper for our intercooler install, a couple things showed up. 1552 Apex RSR wheels, and this EVS Tuning 3-piece carbon fiber body kit from Invasive Motorsports. And it just feels right to see HKS on a JDM car.
I was very impressed with the fitment of this.
Yeah.
It went on very smoothly. It's substantially bigger than the factory unit, and that just keeps your air temps down while you're boosting.
The last thing we have to do from HKS is the exhaust, I believe, right?
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
All right, so we've got the HKS exhaust finally unboxed.
Yep.
First impressions?
It's beautiful. I mean, nice polished mufflers, the tips with the burnt edge, you know, large piping diameter. It looks great.
I'm curious how it'll sound too, because the factory exhaust on this car is super quiet.
Right, right, yeah. It should liven it up quite a bit.
All right, so the exhaust is on. The dual tips look amazing. What do you think of the exhaust?
I agree, dual tips are amazing. This exhaust fits so well. There was no adjustments that needed to be made. Every bolt hole fit to the bolt, so there was no slotted holes or anything, and it just fit.
And from what it looks like, the exhaust is still emissions compliant, right? We only got rid of the one resonator up front?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, so like we said, we've got one more thing to do in the front of the engine bay, and that is this, the Turbo Smart blow-off valve.
So these Turbo Smart blow-off valves usually have very nice machining, O-rings, you know, direct replacement for the OE piece. Much nicer, gives you a little bit of sound.
So this one is vent to atmosphere, not
This one is vent to atmosphere, yeah.
All right. So this little guy down here is the last piece for today. How was it to put in?
It is extremely tight to put that in. They actually give you, one of the holes is slotted so that you can install the bolt first and slide the piece on, so it at least gives you a starting point.
Well, I think that's it for day 3. Tomorrow, hopefully some more stuff shows up. The wheels and tires just got mounted, so we'll throw those on. But really, we're crossing our fingers for the springs to show up, and we'll really be on our way.
Yeah.
So Pat, it just hit me that today is day 4, which means we only have 2 full days to get everything else done in the car. Are you as worried as I am?
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a lot of time, but I think that, you know, we have springs, aero kit. I think the kit's gonna take about a day, and I think all the other things combined will be about a day, so I think we're on a good pace.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we got the 1552s mounted on the Yokohama tires yesterday. That's all sorted. So really, once the springs show up, we'll be able to knock out a ton. But what are we gonna start today with?
We're gonna do the aero kit, try and get that all wrapped up, or at least mostly wrapped up today. And then at the end of the day, we might get into the springs or start on that tomorrow morning.
Cool, well, fingers crossed, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Man, I left to go send an email and you already had this whole thing on.
Yeah, that was actually, it fit great. It went on really quickly. And with the size of it, I could do it by myself, fortunately enough. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah, we got the whole EVS tuning kit on. Right now, it's a matter of just waiting for the springs before we can start delving into some more. But
yeah.
Well, fingers crossed for the afternoon, but let's go have some lunch.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we just found out springs will not be showing up today. It's kind of the nature of every Sema build. There's always something that falls behind. Can we summarize everything that we did on day 4? Because I don't want to shortchange the amount of work that went into today.
Yeah, so we got the aero kit done and it fit great. We had to put some hardware in and do things like that. So there was a little bit of fabrication work to do, but it fit great, it went on smoothly. We're all set to go for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully the springs show up early and we can get them on and roll from there.
Yeah, so tomorrow is our last day with the Turn 14 distribution FL5 Sema build. Stay tuned and cross your fingers everything goes smooth.
We've gotten a lot done so far.
Yeah.
We have a few more things left to do. One of which is the oil change, the battery, and the springs, which
just arrived.
Okay.
Thank goodness. I think we should probably just start with the battery. It'll allow us to pretty much tidy up the engine bay before we do the oil change. And what we've got is a brand new unit from Anti-Gravity. Super lightweight. It's got the remote function for jump starting. It saves about half the weight. Let's get it going.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we couldn't wait. The car is back down on the ground on the 1552 wheels, the iBox Sportline springs. Everything looks incredible. What do you think?
Yeah, I really love how this car turned out, and it's a perfect balance of aggressive track look with street car feel to it. Yeah, I love it.
And the first time we started the HKS exhausts.
It sounds way better than the factory.
Yeah.
It's not too much. It's I feel like the right amount, especially once we get this thing under load.
Yeah. And
on the street, and we actually hear, you know, how it comes up in the RPMs, because we can only rev it to 3 grand with it in neutral.
So, and I know we planned on 5 days total. We're gonna go a little bit overboard just because we have to pull these wheels back off, put the DBA brakes on.
Yep.
I guess we'll tackle that tomorrow, but for now, really good progress. So stoked on how the car looks.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we're back and it is day 6. We are tackling the last bits of the build for Sema 2024.
New rotors, alignment should go smoothly because it's a new car. But yeah, it should be a good day. Get everything wrapped up and we'll be all finished.
Yeah, let's get into it. It's always so satisfying to do some brakes on the car.
Yeah, it really improves the look. And also DBA has a cool feature, which is, I don't know if you can see it up here, but they have paint marks on here, which are temperature. This paint will turn white, the orange one turns yellow, and then the red one will turn white, depending on what temperature range you get the rotor to.
As far as what we need to do for the rest of the day, it's just get the wheels back on, over to the alignment rack, and we're good to go, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that wraps everything up.
Awesome. Let's get started. So this is it. The Turn 14 distribution FL5 Civic Type R is done for the 2024 Sema show. What do you think?
I think it turned out amazing. I love the way it looks, I love the way it sounds, and I love the way it drives.
Yeah, it's everything that Honda promised it would be. It really didn't need a whole lot of modifications, but I think everything that we changed on it makes a really big difference. Now, I'm glad that the car is finally on the ground, because transport is coming in less than 24 hours. We need to get it over to their detail center to get wrapped by Tailor Wraps to make it truly feel like a Turn 14 distribution car. So that's a wrap on the Turn 14 distribution FL5 Civic Type R Sema build. For everyone tuning in, thanks for watching. And for all of our sponsors, thanks for being a part of this build.